Please welcome our first-time superhero, Laura Soto. Today she'll be presenting her session, Exploring the Shopify Business Central Connector. Please stick around after Laura's session for a live Q&A.
Hi everyone, I'm Laura Soto, Business Functional Consultant, and I work on Triangle. And I would like to welcome you to this session where we will explain Business Central's native connector with Shopify. I'm super excited to be here with you today because this is my first time as a speaker at DynamicsCon. And it is a conference that I was hoping to speak someday. So mission accomplished. Very happy to be here, and thank you for joining my session. Please remember that you can leave your questions on the chat box. So what are we going to review today? Let me give you a brief summary of the agenda. First of all, we are going to review the connector setup. In the second place, how an order placed on the website arrives to Business Central. Also, what limitations have we encountered when implementing this connector? And last but not least, what is coming in April's release regarding the connector. So let's get started. First of all we need to do is download in Business Central the Shopify app from App Source. Once it is installed, we can see in the top menu the access to everything related to our Shopify shop. On the other side, we also need to download the Business Central application on the Shopify app store. You just need to go to apps.shopify.com, look for the Business Central application, and add the app. Let's start with the shops because it's where we have all main configurations. From a company, we can manage any number of shops, as many as we need. For this demo, I created already a couple of them. It's very easy to create a connection with a shop. We just need to name it, paste the URL, and it will ask for Shopify permissions, and that's it. If you allow me, let me review one of these shop setup more in detail. Well, here in this tab is where we are going to configure the features and the integration with Business Central. If we have different shops, we have the possibility to make a different configuration for each one of them. What are the most important points to highlight? First, the direction of the item synchronization. Item creation can have two directions, from Shopify to Business Central or from Business Central to Shopify. For this shop, the directionality is from Business Central to Shopify. But let me show you that for the other one, we have the opposite setup. We can use the directionality from Shopify to Business Central if, for example, we implement Business Central after the online store. We can also synchronize images. Although in Shopify, we can have several images, but we can only synchronize one from Business Central to Shopify. Also, when we create a new item, you can do it active or draft status here if someone wants to review it before start using them. In the possibilities of customer synchronization, we can leave the default option with order import. But we could also choose that we don't want to create customers. In this case, we will mark none. And we must complete the default customer number. Another important point is the customer mapping type, which can be by email or phone provided for the order, by the information provided in the billing address, or take the default customer that we have choose in the default customer number here. We can activate auto-create unknown customers and select a customer template. We will use this option if we are giving access to a web personal area. When a customer is created in Shopify, it can be synchronized, so the customer will be created in Business Central using a customer template. We can set up accounts for shipping charges, gift cards, tips, but the most important one here, it is this boolean that creates sales orders. It creates Shopify sales orders in Business Central at the same moment that the synchronization takes place. It is also possible to determine which warehouses we want to use for our Shopify stock, here in Locations. For example, if we have several warehouses in Business Central, we can say that one of them is the one that reflects the inventory for Shopify. This allows us to split part of the stock and use this stock for the web. For example, if we don't want to show the 100% of our inventory on our website. If we use get Shopify locations, it will grab the Shopify ID and there will be no need to add the warehouses manually. More things I wanted to show you today concerning setup. If we want the shipping method code and payment method for sales documents imported from Shopify to be filled in automatically, we'll need to make the following settings. For the shipping method code, we need to configure the shipping method mapping here. When we choose this option, it automatically creates the shipping method records. The ones that we have defined in the shipping settings in the Shopify admin. In the file name, we see the name of the shipping method we have in Shopify, and in shipping method code is where we will need to enter that code for Business Central to do the mapping. To do the mapping with the payment method, we have available the payment method mapping option. In this case, the gateway and the credit card company files are created when we import orders from Shopify. The payment method code is where we will enter the equivalent in Business Central to perform the mapping. Here, the payment method code. We also see that there is a priority file, which is used in the event that a customer uses multiple payment methods. The payment method with the highest priority will be selected in the sales document. If both payment methods have the same priority, the payment method with the higher amount will be used. To start working with the connector at the top, it is mandatory to check the Enable and Log Enable options. These actions will authorize the API connection between the two applications. Once these files are enabled, we will be able to synchronize items, images, customers, inventory. Okay. And now that we have already activated the shops, let's see the synchronization options. We will go step by step, manually activating each phase. But you should know that all the actions that I will perform manually will be set up in the project's queue and performed automatically. Let's start with item synchronization. Let's see how to synchronize items from Business Central to Shopify. The first time you access into this window, you will see it blank with no records. So now let's add items. This is a report that runs on the project queue, and I can choose the shop, synchronize images, inventory, and also which products I want to synchronize if I don't want to run a complex synchronization. For example, we could choose a category DynamicsCon, and it will only synchronize the items that belong to this category. As I already did this prior to the demonstration, there is no need to run this action now. So let's keep going. As you can see, the last item on my list is the DynamicsCon live ticket. If we go to Shopify web now, this is my Shopify website. We can see here this item. If the first time you import a product, the inventory is 0, don't worry. You just have to run the inventory synchronization. But you can as well set up that each time that you import products, Business Central synchronize the inventory automatically. You also have here this URL to access direct to the product in the website shop. Okay, so we are going now to change the image of the item. And after that, we are going to force the synchronization of images from Business Central. So okay. And now we have here our image. So now it's time to place our first order as a customer. In the catalog, we can see all the products available for purchase, but we will buy the Dynamics Live ticket, of course. Okay, I'm gonna buy one. Let's complete customer information. Yeah, I don't care. Okay. Okay, in this view, uh, we have a standard shipping method, which is free, as you can see. Okay. If we work with different shipping methods, for example, an express shipping, it will appear in this window. We will proceed with the purchase and with the payment. Yeah, with the payment. Okay, so our purchase has been successfully processed in Shopify. We can see it in the back office, that I have the back office here. Okay, I'm gonna refresh. And we have the 1031. Let me show you now how the Shopify order has been created in Business Central. We go to orders and synchronize orders from Shopify. Select the shopcode. The moment I'm going to manually refresh the orders, we get the Shopify order right away. I remember that we could automatize this step so we don't have to manually do any action. Okay, I have here two, but this one is 1031. So you can follow this example properly. This shop has the setup to automatically create the sales order in Business Central. As you can see, it has already created it and we have the order number in green color here. If we don't have this option activated in the setup, we will have to manually create the sales order through an additional step. At this exact moment, the client has also received the email with the purchase information, but as you know, this is standard Shopify functionality. As you can see, we have the customer's email information here, sorry, the shipping address, and the item and quantities. All this information came through the website order. If we go to the shipping and billing tab, we see that it has also brought us from the web all the information related. The connector also have additional capabilities, such as the risk tab, where we can check the risk level of this order. For example, low risk, since we have verified that the CVV of the card is correct, the billing address matches the one on the card, and there has only been one payment attempt, so everything looks quite good. From this menu, we can access the shipping cost information. In this case, we validate that the customer has chosen the standard method that we offered for free. But if we offer it, for example, an express shipping option, it will also appear in this window. This document, the Shopify order, is a new intermediate document. From this, we can navigate to the order that has been created in Business Central. We have as well the name of the customer, but as you can see in the sales lines, a first line with a comment has been added with the reference number of the Shopify order. What else? We also have, of course, the products purchased, the quantities, and with the type line of account, we have the shipping that had no amount in this example because it was free. Okay, so now let's start now preparing the order. Two options depending on how we work shipments. If we do shipments from Business Central, we can reopen the document here and fill in the shipping files available in the shipping and invoicing tab, such as code, carrier, and service, and then send the delivery note. Or if we manage shipments from Shopify, we can leave it as it is and do it from the web platform. For the moment, we are going to ship this order and synchronize the shipment. If we come back for a moment to the website, we can see here the status previously to this. So now I'm going to process synchronize shipments to Shopify. Now that it's done, if we go back to the Shopify back office, we refresh, and here the status has changed. We go to the specific order, it's already prepared, and if we scroll down, we see that Business Central prepared the shipment and sent the email to the customer. The customer receives the notification that the order is on its way. If we go back to Business Central in the Shopify order, we have fulfillments. We can see the information regarding the delivery that has been passed to Shopify. If it had a tracking number or anything, it will have been transferred here. I go back to the sales order, and finally we move on to invoicing the order. We don't need to open the invoice. You all know how it looks. Okay, so now we have done one example, but let me show you a couple of additional features. If we look at the main menu, in the main menu options, we find the transactions. When a customer completes their payment in the online store, the payment information is saved as a transaction. There can be several transactions linked to the order, such as when a customer uses a gift card to pay part of the cost and then uses a credit card or a PayPal for the remaining amount. In this view, it shows us all the transactions where we can see the type of payment, like card, gift card, the amount, and if the payment is approved or pending. And finally, there is a payment functionality. Here, as you will see, as I'm using a demo environment with a dummy card, no information is shown. In your case, if you are selling on Shopify, here you will have all the information. The payments are for informative purposes only, do not affect accounting or banking, although they can be useful. They can be useful when processing your bank statement. You can also use this view as a sales statistics, as all your transactions from your online store will appear here, and as always, you have the possibility to open and edit it in Excel. Now that we have explained the process and the positive points of the connector, I would also like to point out some of the limitations we are going to face when implementing it. So you can take them into account and be prepared. Well, first of all, we can only associate one generic customer per store. On the other hand, shipping charges can only be associated to an account, and sometimes customers want to use item charges or service items instead of an account. What else? It is an out-of-the-box connector developed by Microsoft, and unlike other Business Central functionalities, it is not extensible. But big news. This will change in the new release this April 2023 when the Shopify connector will become extensible. This will allow us as partners to adjust some functionality of the connector to our clients' practices. Other limitations, although in Shopify we can use multiple images, we can only synchronize one image from Business Central to the online store. At the product variant level, we can't assign an image to it. So the main product image is the one that will prevail, prevail for its variants. That is if we want to work with this information from Business Central, of course, your client can choose to work all the product related information from Shopify, PIM, an e-commerce aggregator, or the platform they use. And one of the most important limitations we have faced when implementing this connector is that it's not possible to use a formula to calculate the stock. Like, for example, inventory minus quantity in sales orders. And you all will agree that each client has its own formula for this. With the extensibility of the connector, maybe we will be able to adjust this. Mention as well that now it's not possible to assign specific serial numbers to products that customers buy online. And finally, metadata files that are used to customize the functionality and appearance of Shopify store don't have a standard synchronization with Business Central. Of course, these are limitations, but keep in mind that there are other standard functionalities that can really help us to be more productive. For example, sharing to teams any Shopify order, using the Outlook adding to have a quick look to the orders while answering an email. You can also create flows with Power Automate to decide what happens at certain point of the process, as the connector is practically based on Power Automate. What is coming? As I said before, the big news is that next April 2023, the connector will become extensible. So us, as partners, will have the possibility to make customizations. Microsoft has announced that a few points of extensibility will be offered. They will keep the number of points to a minimum and follow the rapid development on the Shopify side without introducing breaking changes. The extensibility is going to be open for specific scenarios based on the feedback received from partners and customers through the Ideas portal. And note that returns are an important functionality that will be incorporated in the release wave 1 this year. It is important to be able to synchronize as much business data as possible between Shopify and Business Central. That makes it easier to keep your financials and inventory updated. This is the reason why Microsoft is adding the possibility to synchronize returns and refunds from Shopify admin or point of sale to Business Central. The returns and refunds that you record in the Shopify are going to be imported to Business Central when you synchronize orders. The details about the future are not yet defined, so we will see how it looks in the following weeks. What do you think of these new features and the overall content that I have shared with you today? I hope you have enjoyed this session. For me, it has been a pleasure so far, and hopefully you can apply this knowledge soon when you implement it for the first time the Business Central and Shopify connector. And with that said, let's move on to the questions. Please feel free to pass on any questions you may have, and I will try to answer them. Be gentle, please.